Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna. I'm a little bit spooky, and today we're going to be wear testing and reviewing the Urban Decay Face Bond Foundation. Putting it through the paces. We got a long day ahead of us. This is how it currently looks at about an hour in. So spoiler on that. So yeah, we're going to go through all the claims, talk all about the product, my thoughts on it because I've been testing it for a few days now. Have some firm opinions. I've tested our various circumstances and all the things, different products. So yeah, we're going to go over all that in this video and do a full wear test today and see how it looks by the end of the day. If that interests you, just go ahead and keep on watching. But before you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know some more foundations that you're interested in down below. I thoroughly love testing foundations. Let's get into the makeup. Alright, let's talk about the Urban Decay Face Bond Foundation. So I've got the shade 4 Fair Cool, and it is a pretty dang good match for me. If you caught my first-ish impression of it, you saw how pretty this looked on the skin. But I feel like we need to do a wear test and a full review since I've been testing it a little bit more since then. Have some opinions and some thoughts. And yeah, alright, let's go over some of the claims first. The Urban Decay Face Bond Self-Setting Waterproof Foundation retails for $40. Comes in 40 shades. This is a lightweight waterproof foundation with skincare benefits of a serum and self-setting powder for a blurred effect with a medium coverage and a matte finish. It says it is for normal, oily, or combo skin. Good for sensitive skin. It is non-comedogenic with 3% niacinamide to improve the feeling of skin's texture, minimize redness, acne scars, blemishes, and pores. It reduces shine for a blurred, natural matte finish and is smudge resistant. Okay, so I think it can potentially be a light buildable to medium coverage to full coverage. Very versatile in the coverage level. In my experience with it, I found you can shear it out really easily. You can build it up pretty easily, and yes, it does self-set and dry down. So you gotta work a little quick with it to get it blended on because it does set. It sets down to where it feels like you've powdered your skin, which is pretty crazy. Now, word of caution, if you're a drier skin type, this one's probably not going to be for you. It's definitely geared towards the oilier side of things. I'm combo skin type. I have some oily spots. I have some that are a little more normal, but I don't particularly have like dry spots. But even on a day when my skin was a little bit unhappy from some vigorous dermaplaning. I might have goofed a little bit, dermaplaned a little too vigorously, and my skin was a little irritated. With some proper moisturizer over top, it wore beautifully, and that was one of those days when my skin had a little bit of dryness, a little bit of texture going on, a little bit of that rough feel. You know how my skin's a little irritated, how it feels, and it wore great on that day. So I will say that if you do have like combo skin, that maybe you have some drier patches sometimes or a little bit of surface dryness, just make sure you prep your skin really well, moisturize really well. This functions beautifully with every moisturizer I've paired it with, my sunscreens, wonderfully. It also functions great with pore filling primers that I've used with it. I've been experimenting with it with some different combinations, and like the e.l.f. pore filling liquid primer, it does beautiful with that. And yeah, I found that I don't have to set my whole face. I just set my under eyes and I'm good to go with this one. I really enjoy it. I find it to be very long wearing. I wore it to the gym a couple of times and it has held up beautifully beautifully. And I don't feel greasy or shiny or anything like that after the gym. I'm going to insert a clip here of a post-gym day of wearing this foundation, how good the skin looks, and that was a leg day. Yeah, today that we're going to be testing it is not a gym day, but it's going to be a long day. I have a few out and about errands ahead of me. It's going to be on my face for quite some time. So we're going to get a good longevity wear test The weather is yucky. It is incredibly humid. It's thunderstormy. It is wet. It is murky feeling outside and just very moist. It does not feel nice outside today. The air just feels wet. So I think it's going to be a good test today in this condition. Let me go ahead and get on my skin. It says that you can apply this with your fingers for full coverage. You can apply it with a brush for more medium to full coverage, or you can use a sponge to get light coverage. Urban Decay did send this to me, by the way, in a little PR box. First time ever getting PR from Urban Decay, and that is not influencing my opinion. Just throwing it out there. Is zero relevance on how I feel about a product, but they did send me a little box with some goodies in it, and they provided a sponge, which we're going to use on one side of the face, and we're going to use an e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush on the other side, just to see how it does, and I'll even things out at the end. So yeah, they sent the foundation over, and sponge, hair clips, and a setting spray. So we will use the setting spray today as well. I don't usually do setting spray on wear test days, but why not? Today we will. And you have to shake this well. Do shake it because it does kind of separate a little bit, and I have noticed that. The lightweight feel, absolutely. You cannot feel this on your skin. And I don't think I have a foundation quite like this in my repertoire of foundations, or my collection of foundations. This is unique to me, and I think it's a unique formula, and actually is very innovative and pretty cool. Now, again, like I said, if you have dry skin, I don't think you're going to enjoy this one as much. It will probably cling onto some texture, emphasize a little bit of dryness. This is meant for the oily girls that need the long wear and the longevity and all the things from their foundation. And even though this is self-setting and I can get away with wearing it without powder, I think you can powder it if you needed to, just for a little extra longevity's sake. And I feel like it would be very easy to touch up throughout the day with a bit of powder if you needed to. I haven't felt that I needed to with this one. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get this on the face. I think my hair is a good indication of the weather, because when it's slicked back like this, that means it is yucky outside and my hair is going nuts. So I just load it down with product and try to slick it back the best I can, because my hair has a mind of its own. Anyway, we're gonna get this good and shook up here. And yeah, I have the shade F. Why I keep saying F? I have the shade 4 Fair Cool. Really good shade match for me. It matches my neck pretty perfectly. This does oxidize just a tad. Once it's on the skin, when it dries down, it will go a hair darker, so do keep that in mind, but I don't think it's that much really that it affects, that it's like noticeable. I just have noticed it just as it dries down. It gets just a smidge deeper. The shade range looks incredible, by the way. When I was looking at it, it has a very nice spread of shades. All right, and this is what the component looks like with the lid off. You have this little clear thing with a spout. It looks like a whiteout pen or something to me. It reminds me of office supplies, like a whiteout thingy. Anyways, it's a squeezy tube. You just give her a little squeeze. And it is actually fairly thick. Like, I expected this to be kind of runny. It's pretty thick. Like, she got a little something to her there. All right, so let's do the sponge on this side. We'll start with that. This is the sponge that they provided. It is a gloriously huge sponge and very nice texture. And this is going to give the more light end of coverage, and it does function beautifully as a lighter coverage product. Very, very versatile with the coverage levels. I love when products are like that. And you see, it instantly just starts to even out my skin tone very nicely. Oh, and by the way, on my skin today is my normal skincare and SPF, no primer. Bring it down. But yeah, it does a great job of concealing redness. And I like that I can kind of still see my freckles through with this lighter coverage level of application. This is kind of my ideal coverage level. I don't tend to want to build too much. depending. Occasionally, I might have a bad skin day where I want to build up a little more. But recently, or in recent years, this has been more what I go for. And I find the matte finish that it has, it's such a soft, very skin-like matte. You can still see a little bit of glow coming through from your texture, like your natural skin, especially if you've done like some nice hydrating skin prep. You'll see a little bit of that coming through. It's not a flat, cakey matte. It goes on very thinly when you get to applying it. That is one light, quick layer. Look at that. Very nice. Very natural looking. With just the sponge like this and very, very fast. And it just sits on the skin really nicely, especially in the pore area. It looks very smooth. Yeah, so here's what it looks like on this side of the face. I'm going to build a little bit here around my nose. So I think the sponge is a little big. It's kind of hard to get into the nooks and crannies. But it works fine. But yeah, that looks so nice. It's just light coverage. Pretty finish on this one. Very effortless looking. But it's definitely one you can build up to that more glam, full coverage. So let's do that with the brush. Let's apply it with a brush rather and see how that goes. I actually haven't done this yet, so this is you and me together on this one. So I got a little bit on the brush, kind of working it in. And definitely, you know, it's pretty easy to build coverage with the brush. I want to kind of keep my coverage levels the same, but I just want to see how it functions with the brush. I don't want to go full coverage. So that's just not what I like. But I know you can because I have built this one up quite a bit and gotten full coverage from it just to see if it could be done. Yeah, that's going on really nicely with the brush. I think this is one that you could definitely have as a one and done foundation. Like if you're somebody you don't want to fool with concealer, you can put this one right under the eye and it doesn't get all creasy or anything, and it conceals dark circles and can function really nicely around that area, which isn't always the case for me with foundation. Because I do have a lot of oiliness in this region of my face, so things can get a little creasy looking in that area. I find this one looks really nice to be able to just get right up there and apply it everywhere and not have to avoid this area and only use a little bit of concealer there and that kind of thing. But yeah, you can see I am getting more coverage with the brush just inherently, but it looks really pretty. I don't see any brush strokes or anything like that. It's going on very, very easily. And there we go. Those with the brush. How pretty is that coverage level? I really like it with the brush. That looks really good. I think I might prefer the brush a little bit more just because you get that little added bit of coverage, but still not too much. It just looks a little bit more even on that side. Like I can still see some redness over here because it's just very light coverage over there. So let me just even these out. And this side is already pretty much set down, by the way. Like when I touch my face, it feels like I've powdered. And it's not coming off on my hands. It's not transferring off. And that was something I found very impressive. Even after the gym, it wasn't transferring off on my hands when I did touch my face. And it looked just like it did when I applied it. And I'm talking a pretty heavy leg day. And it did great. It was also really muggy and rainy that day. Yeah, I did get rained on that day. Actually, I had to and from the gym. I had to walk through the rain, and my foundation still looked great. I wouldn't call it like super duper waterproof, but I would definitely say it's resistant. I don't think any foundation is particularly waterproof, though. And by the way, the sponge that I used was damp. I also feel like the sponge does soak up quite a bit of the product because while this comes out thick, it thins out as you're applying it. The closest, I can't really think of anything that I have that is quite like this one. This foundation. It is pretty unique. And you can see you can still see a little bit like that skin-like glow coming through. It looks natural. It doesn't look like I'm wearing a face full of foundation. Just things look very even and pretty smooth and perfected. I think it looks nice. It looks nice. Honestly, to be completely real with you, when I got this in the mail, I was not expecting to love it because I'm not typically one who likes matte foundations. Even though I do lean a little bit on the oilier side of things, I like glowy products though, and very light coverage, and like the only like full coverage product I really like, or like that's more matte finish, is the IRL foundation, or like the Smashbox always on adjustable skin balancing foundation, because that one can go a little bit matte, a little bit whatever, it adjusts to your skin. But for the most part, I'm more into like that kind of luminous serum type products. The serum foundations, pretty much. That's what I really enjoy. But I'm loving this one because it's like one of those serum foundations. It just has a very long wear and a bit more of a matte finish, but it's an adjustable matte finish. Like you can add some glow with a little bit of highlighter. You can matte it down more if you wanted to with a little bit of powder. I think it's just a very versatile foundation. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to love it. And I made the mistake, because I didn't know I was getting this. I watched Tati's review of it, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. Or I don't know if that foundation's really for me. Like, I wasn't really that invested in it. I was like, it's probably not going to be one for me. Because it didn't go well for her. But I think she has a much drier skin type than me. I would say that if you are prone to a bit of dryness, prep your skin really well. You're going to have a nice time with this one. It's going to come down to really make sure you prep the skin, moisturize it very well before you put this one on. Even on my combo skin, I feel like a little more hydration is probably better than less. There's also a common misconception that people with oilier skin types think that they don't have to moisturize. You do. You do. It helps balance the oils out. I have a whole video about skin prep. I will link up here, by the way. And I also have a full playlist of foundation wear tests and reviews if that interests you. But yeah, I think we are looking very good at this point. Like, I could get away with not even putting on concealer and I think we would be fine. It's covered my dark circles. Admittedly, I don't have the worst dark circles in the world, but it's definitely covered them. Skin looks bright. It looks healthy. It looks even. And yeah, I'm very pleasantly surprised by this foundation because, like I said, I was not anticipating liking it because it's not typically the type of product I go for just at a glance. Now, once I got my hands and used it, I realized, it's like a serum foundation. It's pretty much what I like. It just happens to have more of a matte long wear finish. And yeah, it's a very enjoyable product. So here's what we're looking like. Fresh application. I'm going to put on a little bit of concealer just for some brightening. I'm going to do a little combo of my Instant Eraser in the brightening shade from Maybelline. A little bit of that under the eyes. Just to brighten up right here. I always like to go ahead and include any skin steps in these videos just so you see exactly what's going on my face. I'm just tapping a little bit of that right in here where I need some brightening. I'm also shocked how well I did on my foundation matching with Urban Decay here. Okay, that's a little bit of concealer on. Do we need any more concealer? I don't think we do. I think we're going to stop there with concealer. I was going to put a little bit, bear with me. I think we're set. We're set. And yeah, the face is also set. Now I am going to put a little bit of powder just on the under eye because I put concealer there. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of this one from CoverGirl. This has become my new favorite under eye setting powder. This is the Simply Ageless Instant Wrinkle Blurring Pressed Powder. I like to just take a little bit of this and set the under eye. Dust a little bit of that on my lid because I have extremely willy eyelids. And we're going to put a little bit just under here where we put the concealer. And I'm going to leave the rest of the face completely unset. Now I'm keeping rather odd hours today. So when I tell you the starting time for today's wear test, don't be alarmed when I say it is like 3 in the morning or something. I'm getting a very early start today. It's going to be a fairly long day. Really enjoying this powder, by the way, for the under eyes. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So here's how we look. It is currently 2:40 a.m. in the morning. So I will check in with you when I have the rest of my makeup done, and we'll see how things are looking at that point. And yeah, we will test this throughout the day, and I'll do some check-ins. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. Okay guys, it is now 3:20, finished with the rest of my makeup, and I have been piddling around for about an hour doing that. And I also did a little bit of a get ready with me video on the rest of this look. So I'll link that if you're interested. But here's how everything looks. I put a little bit of highlighter here, just a touch of Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury. Everything else on my face will be listed and linked below. And those will be affiliate links because I'm sponsored by viewers like you. Anyways, here's what the face looks like. No added powder, just a little bronzer, a little bit of blush, a little bit of highlight, and eyes and lips. I decided to go with a bold lip today. If this lip stays on, we'll see. But right now, the decision was made for this lip. And yeah, I think the skin is looking amazing. I whipped out my magnified mirror. Well, I picked it up off the floor so I can really see how things look without having to put my glasses on currently. I am going to put my glasses on later in the day. So just going to forewarn you, there will be some glasses marks on my face during the check-ins because your girl can't see. Anyway, in my magnified mirror, everything is looking super smooth, super good. Face feels set. Heck yeah, soft, matte, creamy looking skin, beautiful finish. I'm going to use some of the setting spray now, just because. Just a little bit. But yeah, it's been about an hour so far. And I feel like this is one of those foundations that really kind of warm up to your skin. And that hour in, it starts to look really good. But I love that it's not settling in any of my fine lines. That's rare for me. That is rare. So yeah, all right. I will see you guys for a check-in in a few hours, and we'll see where things are. And maybe when the sun comes up, I'll get some natural daylight footage. Okay, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. Check-in number 1. It is currently 7:30, so this has been on since 2:40. So good chunk of time already. I've had dinner, I guess you could call it. I've cooked a meal. Obviously took the lipstick off because I made a mess of it eating. But so far, here's how everything is looking. Looks pretty good. Still feels totally set. Doesn't feel dewy at all or greasy. I think we're looking pretty good. I do need to touch up a little bit around the mouth because I made a mess. And I had to wipe my nose. Yeah, I rubbed a little bit off there. Not much, but just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just take my foundation brush. I'm going to kind of get a mirror. See what I'm doing. Should do this in the viewfinder. Just going to dab a little bit right here with whatever's left. I have little pumpkin hairs all over my face. And I'm going to take off my lip gloss that I have on. And I'm just going to throw on a nude lip for the day. Because I don't want to keep up with lipstick all day. Especially a red lip. Even though that one's like super long wearing that I had on. I just don't want to deal with it. So, just like this. Touch up anything I need touching up. Could probably use a little bit more. Now, if I wasn't going anywhere today, I would just not bother with a touch up at all, but I'm leaving the house now. So I'm just gonna fix this bit that I totally rubbed off without thinking after I ate. Sometimes you just forget you have makeup on and you just, I do that so often and have to fix it. So, okay. I think we fixed it. It's looking good. So I'm going to throw on another lip and I'll show you what this looks like in natural daylight, and then we'll get on with our day. Okay, we are 11 hours in. It is it's 2 in the afternoon, so yeah, 11 hours roundabout, and everything looks pretty good. We've had lunch. It's hot today. Been in a car, been outside, walking around a little bit, and this is a little worse for wear, just where I've been like rubbing my nose, but for 11 hours, I think it looks pretty good, and it could be touched up. We're still matte. We're definitely not shiny. Doesn't feel sticky. It's not transferring off where I touch. Just a little breakdown around the nose, but I clearly was scratching right there. So yeah, let's see. Does it look like that over here? I don't know. I can't see. But a little wear on the chin, maybe slightly. But yeah, forehead looks good. Everywhere else is looking pretty dang good. So my verdict here with this foundation, the face bond, is you'll get incredible long wear. It'll look pretty good and stay mostly soft matte all day with zero powder, by the way. No powder. Definitely make sure you hydrate your skin well. Maybe exfoliate a little bit. You know, make sure you have dry patches. And just make sure the skin's prepped and hydrated really nicely. And yeah, around the fine lines, it's looking really good. Compared to some products, some of my foundations. Like this is a good result for me. And yeah, I enjoy it. I'm so happy I like this one. I was really afraid that I wasn't gonna like it because it's not my usual kind of go-to product. But it's really nice, really nice. So yeah, getting close to 12 hours in, about 40 minutes away from 12 hours in. And I think it held up really well considering out and about, busy day, how long it's been on, the heat, sweating, all those things. It's pretty good, and it is gym proof as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, what you think of this foundation. Are you interested in it? Have you tried it? Do you have any thoughts, opinions, whatever? And if there's any foundations out there you think I should try, let me know down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.